This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 6, 2022. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market recap for Wednesday, June 6th, 2022. Hopefully you're having a great day. Great day for us in the channel, in the room, Discord room. Again, if you are newer and you're listening to this first time, check out the link in the description in the video for the Discord room. Stop on by. This is where we get in the nitty gritty all day, talking about what's going on, how to predict things, how to be in front of the moves, how to stay away from the perils of certain parts of the market that are literally purgatory. Sometimes that's really hard for people to realize, you know. Anyway, again, if you are newer or if you have any questions, please stop by. I always tell this and start the videos the same way. We all have our struggles in the market. There's always some part of us that needs to be worked on. Think of it as you're trying to become a professional athlete. You know, like you have a weakness in your game. You win 7 out of 10 times, but if you fix this next weakness, it turns you into 8 out of 10, and that weakness 9 out of 10. That's the goal of trading. Like there's no you show up and you're great at this. Everybody thinks that somehow it's luck that we're winning constantly, or it's somehow not predictable. That's naivety. Like again, I think that there's some great athletes or great this, and they got through it and they got to those points by being great from doing the hard work. Again, we all show up as traders and everybody sucks. Trust me, there's no one immune to that. All right, let's get into it. Bitcoin, what we said? Pretty simple. Got to hold down here. We like the capitulation action, but we wonder if it's this or is it this chop and then go. We don't know. However, there's two things you really need to have. There's a stop and a plan. If your stop is, say, 18,000, stick to that. And if your plan is if it doesn't move by a certain point, period, you close it out. And you can always rebuy. Because what always worries me for folks who stay into a trade for too long is the opportunity cost. You might be buying Bitcoin and it goes nowhere, and there's other trades out there. Because that's how I look at it. Like that's how I manage my P&L and my positions. Like, and we'll talk about why I sold some stuff that just wasn't working, and I rolled it into things that are working great. And to me, that's sometimes a double win, because if you get stuck, and there's a lot of people, when we'll talk about gold, silver, some of the materials names, being stuck sucks, because you're not going to be a part of, say, the rally or some of the moves, you know. And that's just the nature of trading. And again, if you don't, you know, people they'll stay long oil, and oil might be stuck here. We talked about it getting down probably 93, 94, close enough for government work, probably bounces, that gets back down there another time. Point being is, if you are long oil and this stuff is just going against you, what are you doing? Like, absolutely, what are you doing? Like, that's not how you trade. You don't hold on to losers. You wrote it up, and and again, if you watch previous videos, I said you got to start taking profits. You got to get out of this stuff. Not because it's ultimately long-term bearish, but near-term, the momentum had been pushed into these names and had to come out. Think of it as like a push-pull. The market is always reverting back to its mean. You know, if something goes up aggressively, it has to base out, or it corrects and goes lower. Nothing goes up in a straight line. Like, that whole mentality of straight line moves is really silly. So at this point, if you're in oil names and you were short, you should be taking some profits, letting some ride. If you're long, you should be long gone and wait. Again, we'll talk about when it's a good time to get in. Just, it ain't now. Trust me, it just ain't now. Let's get into it. TLT. Not too excited about the action, because we talked about trying to get up to 120. Today's action, again, light volume. I'm not surprised it's pulling back some. At this point, it's really a no man's land. If you sold some at the highs, great. If it's down here, I wouldn't go selling it. That's all I'm going to say. You know, roll your stops if you want to add dips, but just in general, I think at this point in the TLT cycle, the upside is here, the downside is here. You're right in 50-50 no man's land. How you want to handle that? Again, I'm letting it run because I think we still have more room, but remember, I can be wrong. The dollar. We talked about this a bazillion times, how I thought it was bullish, and everybody was like, you're crazy, man. Well, what did I say? Start getting up in the mid 28s. I think you could have more upside because you have not hit channel high. Keep in mind, I told folks this was bullish, going higher. Stay away from metal, stay away from certain things. Just, they're not in play right now. And it just is what it is. I think you got room to run. Let's just call it that. But I also think near term, it probably is a little exhausted, right? Like, look at these dojis. You're not getting follow through action during the day. That should be a red flag to you near term that maybe it's getting a little tired. Okay. Keep it simple. VIX. All right. What do we talk about? Seasonality. Get bullish the market. Nobody listens except for the people in the Discord room because they are all getting paid today. We talked about this congestion. We said end of quarters, new months, you get like this retest of the low end of range going into the seasonality. Again, watch the previous videos. If you think we're just pulling this out of our butt and talking to talk, watch the previous videos. Talked about the seasonality, saying if you couldn't break out here, you're probably coming back to the range lows. And I've said this a bazillion times. We're in a bear market, but keep in mind, I said this again, I try to do this every video. You can have higher basing of the VIX. Here you go in the 2000, 2002, you had higher basing of the VIX. But it didn't always go straight up. I hope that's starting to kick in here, right? All right, probably a higher base, 15 to 20. I don't know. What's the trend line again? It's at 21. It probably breaks it at some point, just like it kind of breaks above this stuff. That's my sentiment. I'm not bearish. Trust me. I see the sentiment out there. I see all the, I hate to call them dumb money, but they are dumb money. They're all getting bearish at the lows. They're reading the articles that the world is ending, recession's coming, and they're getting bearish. And it's like, where have you been? And if you understand the market maker, they are trapping you. They're going to get you to short the lows, cover the highs, and then it's going to tank later. When? I don't know. Again, here we go. SPY. We said we get to go over the 20-day. There's really nothing to stop you until 390. Because here are all these support zones right here. And again, I apologize. I don't have it drawn on this computer. You can see it here. Once you clear that, because there's a 20-day, here's old low, here's old low, going higher. And some folks calling for 390 close. I have no doubt that is 1,000% possible as long as you get over 385. And as we speak, we are at 385.20, high of today. Check that out. QQQ. Again, what did we say? And again, I'm a bear long term, but I have to be understanding that your bear market rallies. That's how the market works. Over the 20-day, said you're getting over the 20-day. I don't know. At worst, 297. I've always thought if it's going to be a legit, because again, you get like this lower, like sequential higher lows, you get a bigger rip. So if it's a bigger rip, 270, 320, maybe. Again, we don't know until we get there. We'll just see. But at this point, the trend is up. That's all I'm going to say. Don't press it hard when we start getting up to here. Like, press it on pullbacks now or previously. That was fine. Right now, you got to be thoughtful of your upside and know your target. So once it gets to 300 or 297 to like 300, 303, it's probably going to chop. Then what? We'll see. Again, the trend is up. There is going to be a squeeze. The sentiment has been absolutely murdered. Everybody thinks there's a recession coming, which there is, but they missed the first 30% of the market down, and now they're selling here, and the market maker has to absorb it, run the market higher to get them to do what? Continue to hold so that when it goes lower, they'll sell later. I say that all the time. Like, that's what the market maker is trying to do. IWM, sadly, it's not over the 20-day, but I have a feeling it might catch up shortly. Again, some of the oil names, keep in mind, IWM has a ton of smaller mid-cap and small-cap commodity names. They're not doing that well, obviously, because it's not a materials bull market at this point. We talked about it was in the spring, not now. I've said it over and over. I think tech is going to lead. I've said that a bazillion times in the last couple weeks, and look what's happening. SMH, yeah, back over 200. Oh, yeah, Meta back over 171. It just is what it is, folks. All right, what have I said with gold? I literally put out a video on 420. I think it was a little late, but still, we were telling, if you couldn't get over the old 2011 highs, that's what that is. Get out. Now you're down here, and I'm saying you should bounce. There is some volume coming in, but guess what? Do you want to own gold, or do you want to watch tech rise 20, 30%, or watch gold move 5 or 10%? I'm going to pass on gold, and people are going to go, oh, you're not faithful to the cause, whatever the cause might be. I'm just trying to make money. If you're trying to hold something that I think isn't in an endless purgatory for now, go right ahead. I still think the 160 to 150 range is going to test. This is a big cup and handle. And I've said this, and I'll say it every time, and you'll never forget it if you're paying attention. You don't bottom with kumbaya, everybody scream and buy. Now, again, it could bounce. That's the hardest thing, is that when we bounce and everybody thinks they're comfortable and they're winning, this is going to be the problem, is it's going to be a fake bounce to lower lows later. I've seen that many times. Oh, everybody's happy at the bottom. Well, keep in mind that the market maker is a inventory seeker. Notice he was able to unload, he or she, at the highs. Where is the volume for the market maker to accumulate in here? Not really. So guess what? At some point they will pop it and then they will flop that. Now, is it next week, next tomorrow? I don't know. But lay away from it. Silver, same. Again, let's run through these metals because it's the same scenario. We talked about oversold. You're getting smashed. But look at the best moves are when you get the capitulation in 2020, the COVID stuff, the capitulation. You could be in silver purgatory for years, absolute years, and people will just hold on to it. And again, I love silver, but I'm buying physical, as you should. I recommend that at these prices. I don't think you can go wrong long term. But the paper game is such crap. I mean, it's obvious crap, but people just keep saying, buy it, buy silver, buy GDX, buy the miners, buy uranium, buy all this crap that's just going to nowhere land. Now, again, long term, I think there is an up play. I want to see the capitulation. See how volume seeking this action, I guess it's above average volume. I want a blowout. I just, and again, maybe that's me being selfish, but this isn't a blowout. Here was even, I mean, look at this blowout. I mean, these are decent volume. I mean, we just haven't seen it. And again, I could be late and wrong, and people are going to just jump down and be like, oh, you didn't get in. And I'm like, you know what? I will get in when I need to get in. Just so you don't forget that. I just don't want to be early to stuff because I know what it can do. It can do this. This is what scares me. This is what absolutely scares me about owning gold and silver here, is that this could happen and the market could pop up a big amount, and this thing could just go absolutely nowhere. And you're going to sit there and you're going to say gold, 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 and it's not going to work. And again, the reason why I say this is because most of my people who follow me know I have built my teeth in my strengths in gold and silver. So I'm talking to you guys. So newer people are like, why are you talking about gold and silver so much? Well, that's why. I've been trading this stuff for so long, and I've been very helpful to many of folks to understand how it works. Same thing. I think you're oversold. You should bounce. I just leave it alone. So AG, not surprised it's in the 6s. We told you to get out in the 1450s. Now it's just down here. You got a little bit of volume. It's due to bounce. How much? I don't know. Again, there's better names out there. Tech, I'm telling you, tech is about to rip. It's down 40, 50%. And people will chase it. They're not going to chase metals until the cycle is changed to commodity bull market. Keep in mind, we're coming out of a tech bull market, so there's going to be tech reverberations. At some point, tech is trash. I've said that previously. But the first drop in tech is going to be bought. Just remember that. So now what with AEM? Leave it. I mean, it bounced to 48, 49, whoop-de-doo. I don't know. If that gets you excited and gets you out of bed, great. Not for me. NFGC, talked about it, got a little volume down here, said we'd like it down here in the 5 range. Well, guess what? Metals poop. Probably going to 3 at some point. Not tomorrow, probably not next week, but that's all I'm saying. Just please be safe. What now? PAAS, same thing. I mean, look at these bigger, I mean, you could be stuck in the low end of channel, or stuck in this nothingness for a while. If you are a trader, your goal is to maximize out on your opportunity. It is not to linger in lagging stocks in action. I'm just telling you that. I say it all the time. And sometimes I miss out on some things, but you know what? I try to at least get into the stuff that I think is going to act the best. Letter X, we talked about it down here. There's some, if you look at the actual anomalies this AM, you saw a big volume and held. I'm glad it's bouncing. I think this stuff is oversold. But here's the biggest worry now with commodities. Listen to the statement, process it, and don't forget it. Biden is talking about unwinding the tariffs. China is sitting on a ton of copper, steel, and commodity stuff. If they unwind the tariffs, they will dump this stuff, and it's not going to help the names that we're going to talk about here coming up. And that's probably why these stocks got actually destroyed. Like, let's call it what it is. Somebody knew something. Maybe this is, that rumor, and then the news, it pops. I don't know. Nucor, I dumped this morning near the low of the days because I wanted to buy tech. Probably regret it. Again, I still like it, but I think there's better names. Like I said, the SMH, I think, is about to rip 10, 20, 30% very quickly. And I like the points because then I can play the options games and really leverage those. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, stop by the Discord room. We'll talk about it. Nucor, I like the action if it's holding. VALE, same thing. These are all rallying back. I'm not hateful, or I'm not trying to sound like I'm spiteful to those who bought materials names. They just don't look as juicy to me. And again, we talked about holding the 13 level. And again, when we get into tech, I'll explain it to you more. Right now, 1350 should hold. All this should hold. CCJ, again, I don't really like it, but I also do realize it has to hold here. Talked about head and shoulders top. Everybody's bullish uranium. That is not how you bottom. I say it over and over and over, but it doesn't mean you can't bottom near term and bounce. Same thing with Arrow. Everybody's super excited about copper names. I get it. Whatever. Mosaic, I mean, let's just run through these because to me, they're a colossal waste of time in the sense that they're going to bounce, but I think tech is going to catch the mojo. You'll see why. Again, Mosaic hit the next trend line, stopped out yesterday. Wasn't that happy about it. Now, looking back, maybe it bottoms, maybe it pops. Who cares? Again, you can only do so many things. You only have a limited supply of bullets to fire. CF, talked about it. Look at that, retest the lows. I didn't see that this morning. I think I had an alarm go off, but I really didn't pay attention. Nice, bouncing back. All right, let's get into the bread and butter of why I'm excited for folks is tech. People are like, you're crazy, man. All right, this guy's the one who's been shorting and telling you guys. I said my downside on AMD was this blue range. Why? It's support resistance. It's a volume at price mechanism where there will be the most amount of volume to shake out because that's where all the stops are. You are now at that level. 72, 75. I mean, honestly, whatever, 7 handle, it's probably going to bounce. Now where, if I had to guess, I mean, it probably can get back to 100. That would not surprise me one bit. If you have the CHIPS Act, and look this up if you're not familiar, check the news. Congress is sitting on an approval of spending $50 to $60 billion on semiconductors, moving those companies and helping the infrastructure of the United States. Again, it makes no sense to have a lot of infrastructure in Taiwan and overseas when semiconductors are the future of all technology. And if it's built overseas, it is very susceptible to dangers, obviously. Duh. AMD, probably going to benefit. The SMH, that's how I'm playing it. The SMH, I don't even care which names. We talked about breakout of channels at lows can sometimes be bottoms. Look at the volume. It peaked there. Look what's happening coming back into the channel. This is absolutely 1000% bullish. Now, again, maybe some of your material names bounce. I am playing this because it has a catalyst. The catalyst for materials scares the crap out of me because, again, what happens if China, what if we roll back those tariffs on China? All of a sudden, China is just dumping copper, steel, material names, whatever, zinc. I mean, again, whatever ore you want to talk about. Remember, they had a huge lockdown extended. They're sitting on tons of capacity. Tons of it. What happens when they unload it and we absorb it? Like, what if, I mean, because again, maybe the feds want deflation and we're going to work with China near term. It seems rather stupid, but I could see that being a play. Well, who benefits from deflation? Tech. So now you have double whammy of things potentially to help. Deflation and chips and money actually probably not going into materials. Just keep that in mind. So this to me is why it makes the most sense. People are going to be like, you're crazy. All right, we'll see what happens. I love when everybody's doubting something. Apple, we talked about. This is how we knew the tech was probably going to lead. Look at Apple acting great. Now, again, look at your US Steel, your Cliff, your whatever, your material names. Do they look this good? They look like they're leading? No, they're just they're literally bottoming today. Not ideal. Meta, we talked about this one, buying it at channel low. It was really hard to get in the 150s, and you got that retest last week. Oh, my juicy Lord. Boop, here we go. Get over this. We said channel low, channel high. Keep in mind, this thing has gotten rocked. It was at 85. Now you could have gotten at 155. Again, I'm not a long-term bull. Please do not mince my words and somehow say I am long-term bullish. No, I am playing the trade. I've said this a billion times. A bear market is a what? It's a trading market. It's a tradable market. That's all it is. It just is what it is. You have to trade it. Repeat, you have to trade it. Roblox bought a bunch of this in the low 30s, mid 34s as well. And people are like, what is it doing today? Taking a break. I mean, look at this big move. I mean, it moved like, what, 13% or something? 34 to 30 to 40. Yeah, it's a huge move. Now it's digesting, no problem. Patience. Patience, grasshopper. Okay? Just be patient. Tesla, again, big downgrade today, and then what? Ripped right back. Not bearish. Just not bearish. That's PENN. Come on, Tesla. I said, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Like, don't get stupid to short it. Oh, God. Now I'm acting stupid. I can't drive. Yeah, here we go. I said you had the double bottom and just don't short it. Now it pops back, not surprised. All right, let's get into some names that we like. EXPI talked about this one a couple times. Said, hey, look at this level. You could buy it with a stop. Here you go. Now it's down today. Again, same thing. Look at this up move, just digesting. I don't see anything wrong with it. Roll up your stops if you are worried. UTHR, here is another Dan special. If you zoom back into the March, what was it? Yeah, March lows, double bottom. We talked about double bottom, retest, pulled back to our support zone, now making higher highs. I don't really trust biotech near term because it's already run. Again, I think that money is going to come into semis and other names. This name is acting well. Roll your stops. That's all I ask of you. Do not get too crazy. I mean, 155 to 241. Again, unless it's going to get bought out or something absolutely wild. Let's see what happens. Again, I think the easy money's over, but again, I don't know anything for sure. Let's end it on oil because again, this is precipices, everything, deflation. We talked about as long as oil cracks, which it did. Talked about 20-day. Nice work, Eric. Take some gains down here on your oil names. Said that if oil is down, deflation. I mean, keep in mind, the U.S. like oil got up to like 130 a barrel. Now it's in the 90s. That the market is going to like that. And again, maybe oil rallies a little bit, but do you really want to own oil where everybody's trapped? Or do you want to own like something like SMH where everybody's wiped out? Like literally, everybody's wiped out. Nobody's wiped out of oil. I still see tons and tons of posts on FinTwit. When's oil going to 250? When's the next moonshot for oil? Like, I mean, it's all I read. It's rather silly, but I mean, that's just people are. So now you have more trapped buyers. It's probably going to be stuck. XOP, we told you this was going to smash at some point. Everybody's like, you're crazy. Nope. Now you're really getting tight to the fib here. Downside, again, I think is limited. Material names should pop because if the market pops overall, remember, these names are owned in the indexes. So there is buying pressure that will apply to these names. This just doesn't mean they have to go crazy. ExxonMobil, nice one. Down here, again, broke the trend. What did I say to you folks? I said at some point, thought we'd come back. Still think we get into 70s. It just might not be next week. Make sure you have time if you're trading this and also trade it. I mean, that's what the problem with bear markets. They have to be traded. The volatility is too great to hold through. I know it's probably going lower in time, but how low? I don't know. Do you want to like stay short this while the market rises, or do you just want to come back to it later? Those are the questions you have to ask yourself. If you marry the trade, you have to put up with the bad stuff. That's how I look at it. Like you marry someone you hate, or not hate, that no one would ever do that. You marry the wrong person and you stay married to them, you're not going to enjoy the results potentially, right? Pretty simple. UNG, we talked about the 200-day. I mean, how did you know to short oil? Well, yeah, this broke the channel and it was done. Like natural gas, oil, they're like hand and foot, friends, best friends. They go together. Valero, let's add the extra bonuses. Again, these things, I mean, channel, retesting it again. Chevron, again, I hope people see, like, I'm not saying go out there and buy it. It's just if you're short, I would be taking profits. 200-day. Again, let's just end it there. I want to watch the SPY close because let's check it out. Once we get over 385, I think the wind is in the back of the bulls. SMH pulled back a little bit. What else? Meta's chopping up. This is the key. And again, I really think it could be just like, what is it? You just get up to it and everybody's assumed shorts again. And that's where the problem with this part of the cycle is. Everybody's bearish. Everybody bearish, and the squeeze happens. You get a bigger squeeze. That's how you got like these days, like this unrelenting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 12 days of just Christmas for bulls. That's coming. Here's 1, 2. I don't know. Again, let's project out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 days of this. I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, somewhere in the 400 plus. I think that makes sense. I've said that, I think, many times to folks. I think at 400 plus is coming. All right. Love you guys. Be safe. Again, if you have questions, stop by the Discord room. I appreciate you all. Have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.